Hey everyone, and welcome to the happiest hour on earth. We are so excited the weekend is here again. We get to just hang out, have some snacks, have some drinks, and just talk about Disney. And so this week we have been just, with Jungle Cruise coming out today, by the time this episode launches, we wanted to talk about all things Disney Plus. I mean, there's some great stuff that's already out, and then a whole bunch of good stuff that is coming. And so we're going to be talking about everything that's coming, but then also our most anticipated out of the bunch. So we are super excited to go ahead and talk about all this. So let's get this party rolling.
All right. So as Chris said, we're talking about Disney Plus tonight and all of our favorite shows that we already have and the ones that are coming in the near future. So we have a favorite pastime of having like Saturday morning Disney Plus binging and, breakfast with our coffee and stuff like that. So we decided to have kind of like a breakfasty themed snack and drink for tonight. So we went with the Mickey waffle, if you can see it.
Shout out to our friend Lauren who had the waffle maker.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just going to say we got to borrow her Mickey waffle maker for tonight's episode. So we're very thankful for that. We're excited to try these. And then for the drink.
Yeah, for the drink. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of good Disney cocktails, but we're like waffles and like a rum-based drink, like waffles and like
it was hard to pair
a beer or a wine. Like that just sounds kind of weird. Actually, wine and waffles. I feel like could go.
But that's if you're having like a savory waffle,
a savory
right?
waffle, yeah. So we decided
or like a dessert wine.
What kind of cocktail can we make that's a little more like breakfast themed? So Emily, a couple years back, gave me this cocktail book called, I think it's Cocktails by Cody. And he does a whole bunch of Disney cocktails. And so we looked through all the pages and found one that had coffee in it. And so this one he names it the False King, which is like Scar themed, right? Yeah. And so this one had like, what did we have in here? We had Kahlua. We had
vodka.
Vodka and salted caramel flavoring, and then Bailey's, and then coffee, and then whipped cream. And so we were like, that totally goes with the breakfast theme. So let's just make that, and it's awesome. So should we start with this and then go for the waffle?
Let's give it a try.
Let's do it.
I'm excited
Cheers.
to try this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good flavor.
Yeah,
lots of good coffee flavor in there.
Yeah, and the book said like it didn't mention if you're gonna pour the coffee in hot or iced, and so we just decided to ice it up. I think that's a little more desserty.
Summertime.
Yeah,
it's always hot. It's been like 100 degrees where we're at, so we're like, let's just have a nice iced coffee at 10 p.m.
Yeah,
as we drink
decaf.
this.
We did get decaf because we do want to make sure we go to sleep tonight. But this is like it tastes like an iced Irish. What is it called?
Yeah, like Irish
coffee.
cream. Yeah.
And then but just a little more desserty because it's cold and nice. And awesome.
Yeah,
but
really
should we go for these waffles?
Yeah, let's try the waffle.
Are they going to be as good as the parks? I don't know.
Highly doubt it.
But let's
have
a bite. We went with the strawberries and powdered sugar and cream, so we're stoked. Oh, that was so good.
That was really good.
Super fluffy.
Very fluffy.
Which I feel like the ones in the park are like a little more Belgian style, so it's a little bit harder to like crispy and kind of like harder
but they're
to cut.
so good that way.
They are so good that way, but these fluffy ones are so good.
These are really good. And everything just tastes better when it's in the shape of Mickey,
All right, so obviously Mickey shaped waffles. The best ever. Cannot be beat. I'm not going to steal from Lauren, but I think we do need to buy a Mickey waffle maker now because that was insane.
Yeah, that needs to be like a regular part of our
at least
morning
once
routines.
A week, maybe even twice. I'm all for it. So Disney Plus shows, there is so much coming out. We looked at a list just to try to remember everything that's coming to Disney Plus, and there is so much. So this is only Disney Plus originals. We're not going to be talking about like shows or like movies that are coming out in theaters, and you can get them on Disney Plus as well. This is just Disney Plus originals, and I think there's about 60 of them. We're going to be like kind of breaking it down by like Disney shows, Disney like unscripted shows, kind of like Imagineering story. And then we're also going to be talking about Marvel and Star Wars, and then also the Disney Plus original movies. Kind of like that's like the new version of DComs. Wait, Disney Channel original. Yeah, so this will be DPoms. We're going to be talking about all the latest DPoms.
Yeah.
They're great. So I think we're going to start with the Depos, Disney Plus original shows. And
All
we
right.
want to list these out.
Yeah.
Actually, and as a preface, there's a lot that we're going to be naming out. So we're not going to talk about the release dates. These, I think, are coming out between now and 2021 to 2022.
Within 2 years, we would hope.
Within 2 years. So if you hear one that really interests you, just go ahead and Google it and find that release date and just amp yourself up for that release date. Because we can't really talk about all the release dates because there'd be so many. So
there's a lot.
Let's go.
So many things. Yeah. So there's a lot in this list. I'm going to just kind of list them off and then maybe just talk about a few that sound particularly exciting to us.
Yeah.
The first one is Chippendale Park Life. Then we have Beauty and the Beast, the prequel. We have The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. Willow, Baymax, Zootopia Plus, Tiana, Moana,
Iwaju. I'm going to assume that's what.
That sounds right. Doug Days, Cars, Win or Lose, Doogie. Why are these so hard to say?
Doogie Camiola.
Camiola.
Aloha.
Yeah.
It's like a Hawaiian.
Yeah,
thing.
that sounds Hawaiian.
Yeah.
National Treasure and Just Beyond. So it's quite a list.
Yeah.
A lot of these sound really fun and exciting to watch.
Yeah. What are your like most anticipated out of these?
I don't know. I think the Beauty and the Beast prequel will be really fun. It actually has Luke Evans and Josh Gad, who were in the live action remake.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be really fun to see them playing their roles in a show.
To get a show, with Josh Gad and Luke Evans chemistry together was so great. So I don't know if this is I don't know if it'll be like
where in the the
Belle.
Beauty and the Beast it is.
It will be like pre Belle. It'll probably just be their adventures together. I'm wondering. So that will be super fun.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
That's gonna be great.
That's gonna be really fun.
I'm on board with that too. Yeah,
that sounds fun. The Willow one sounds cool. George Lucas kind of came up with it a long time ago.
I haven't actually seen Willow. It came out, I think, in the 70s or 80s. I don't know much about the story, but don't hate me if I'm wrong, but it's a fantasy adventure. So in my mind, it was almost like George Lucas's kind of like Lord of the Rings a little bit. So it wasn't like spacey themed, I don't think. So Willow is going to be it's going to be a series based on that movie that I don't think gets a lot of recognition, and so it'd be really cool to see that played
sounds
out
kind of
in a
exciting.
fantasy series. Yeah.
George Lucas, he doesn't really make anything badly, so I'm sure it's going to be really good.
Star Wars, so great. Yeah.
And then obviously Tiana and Moana.
Yeah.
Give me all that.
I know. Oh
I'm
my
so
gosh.
excited.
All those so good. Like Tiana, I've always wanted to hear more about her story. It's going to be interesting to see if this show will be what the ride is, because the ride apparently is not going to be following the story of the movie. It's going to be following like an extra story. So maybe one of the episodes will kind of be based on, or the ride will be based off of one of those episodes.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
That would be cool. And then Moana.
Oh, come on.
I love Moana. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's going to be
That's going to be really fun. I don't know like where is it going to be after the movie, like kind of just a random spinoff of like after
maybe
she
like
goes
more
on her adventure
voyages
and stuff.
After that, I'm assuming that's
it could
what
kind
it's
of go
gonna be.
Anywhere.
Yeah, so those
Mally's gonna be in there, I'm sure.
Yeah,
that's
all
gonna
of
be
those
fun.
sound really great.
Yeah, I think those probably, and Cars. Of course, I love Cars, and I think any little spinoff of that franchise is gonna be really good too.
Yeah, so all the ones you said for me, Iwaju sounds really, really interesting to me too. It's going to be a sci-fi based in like, I believe Africa. And they're also, Disney is teaming up with an African animation studio called Kugali, I believe. So I don't think Disney does this much. You know, they did back then with Pixar before they owned them. And those came out really good. So I'm very interested to see them partnering with a new studio and how that will turn out. I think that would be really cool. One that interests me just because it sounds very like, how are they going to turn this in? Sometimes Disney and Pixar, like, they have a synopsis and I'm like, that sounds kind of weird. But then they turn it into something amazing. So there's one called Win or Lose. It's an animated show about a middle school softball team with each episode focusing on a different team member. So it's like, I'm sure like by that finale, there's going to be some like amazing kind of like conclusion to everyone's story that's going to be cool. And I'm sure
like
I trust them to
together.
have something pretty amazing at the end. So that, I don't know much about Doogie.
But anything Hawaii, I'm about. Yeah. I'm sure that's going to be good. It's about a 16-year-old girl training to become a doctor. So
that sounds good. And then National Treasure, apparently it's going to be, I guess it's going to be a show. It's going to be a reboot of the I hope they don't reboot the movie because the movie is amazing and it shouldn't be rebooted. But a show based on that, like, I'm all in. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, and then Just Beyond, RL, it's going to be a anthology series based off of the graphic novels of R.L. Stine, who is the author of the Goosebumps. So having like the author of the Goosebumps doing like a Disney Plus show, I'm sure that'll interest a lot of people. I didn't really read the Goosebumps when I was younger, but I'm interested to see how that turns out since it's kind of like outside of Disney. So yeah. Oh, ouch. That brass straw really has a kick to it. So next up is the Disney Plus shows that are unscripted. So it's not going to be like a...
More like documentary
like a
style.
docu-series. Yeah. So here we have Ink and Paint, Earthkeepers, Reconnect, The Quest, The Maze, Parenting Without Borders, Foodtastic, and Choir. The ones that interest me the most, and we discussed this, and I think we lined up there too, but Ink and Paint. Are you kidding?
Sounds really
Anything
cool.
that has to do with Disney, like the making of the movies or the making of the parks, interests me so well. And this is about the story of the women who worked on Disney's classic animated films. And this always interests me because, you know, we hear stories about the 9 old men who were just like so integral to the Disney films. But hearing it now, bringing these women's stories to light.
Except for, you know, like...
You had Mary Blair, like the coloring and like the art and the colors.
Mostly
and all
with
stuff.
The park, I guess.
Mostly with the park, yeah.
Not as much about the movies. So I think that'll be really cool to hear about the women that were involved in the films.
Oh, yeah. So much. And speaking on this, too, I know I've mentioned it before, but our interview with the Imagineer, who was a woman engineer during the 80s and 90s, that was such a cool interview, just learning more about her story, how she was, you know, the only woman in her class and all this stuff. And so hearing all these women who were a part of these stories way back in the day and just bringing them to light is just so exciting. So super excited for Ink and Paint. Also, the other one we were talking about now that we're parents is Parenting Without Borders. Just apparently Jessica Alba is going to be hosting this series. It takes a look at parenting around the world. So that would be pretty interesting.
That's going to be really cool, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think every country does it a little different. And I think it'll be really interesting to see, like, just the niche parenting methods.
Yeah. And then we also talked about a couple, do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those ones obviously sound really good. What else? Foodtastic sounds good. Obviously, we like to talk about food as we make food every week and drinks. It's a competition series about people who create Disney-inspired works of art that are made out of food.
Which is interesting because it's not food that looks presentable and pretty. It's like they're making art that's made
Yeah,
out of
that's like
humans, yeah.
inspired by Disney. That's gonna
I'm
be pretty
down.
cool, I think.
Yeah, I'm down. Reconnect also sounds very heartwarming.
Yeah.
This one says it's families with issues try to come back together with the help of experts. So I think that's really cool for Disney to do. Disney is so family oriented, and we usually talk about, the perfect families, that this and all this stuff. And so kind of going out of those boundaries and saying, hey, even if there's issues, you guys could still make amends and reconnect as families. And I think that would be very interesting and cool to see.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one too.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to be talking about some of the original movies coming to Disney Plus.
The D-Poms.
Yeah, the D-Poms, as Chris lovingly called it.
If they don't take that up, then I'm gonna be so mad.
I mean, it has to. That's a great name.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we have an Aladdin spinoff, Hocus Pocus 2, Sister Act 3, Three Men and a Baby, sports docudrama movies, Cheaper by the Dozen, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Pinocchio, Disenchanted, Peter Pan and Wendy, and Crater. So there's quite a list. A lot of these are going to be really fun.
Oh yeah.
And exciting. I'm pretty excited about a few of these. The Aladdin spinoff, I just found out tonight, is about it's from the live action. It's a spinoff of the live action remake. So it's following Prince Anders, who is played by Billy Magnuson. Magnuson.
So
if you haven't
good.
seen the movie Game Night, highly recommend it. It's hysterical.
Highly recommend it. It's
one of my favorite
funny.
movies. It is hysterical, like beginning to end. This guy is in that, and he's like so funny.
So perfect. Pretty much Prince Anders.
He's pretty much Prince Anders, but like in current day.
Yeah.
Anyways, I knew him from that first, and then saw him in Aladdin, and I was like, oh my
We were
gosh, it's
both
that
freaking
guy.
out in the theaters. We were like, oh my gosh.
I realized who it was, and I was like, no way, he's in this.
This is great.
It's so funny. So
So
I
good.
am super excited to see this spinoff that is about him, because I know it's going to be hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be fun. I'm also excited about... I loved Cheaper by the Dozen growing up, so I'm excited to see what that's about. I don't really know who's... Oh, no. Okay. Gabrielle Union and Zach Braff.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be pretty fun to see what they do with that. And then Pinocchio is going to have Tom Hanks in it as Geppetto. Can't wait for that. He's great.
Don't know who
everything.
Pinocchio is.
Yeah, I don't know
But
if they've released Pinocchio
This is
yet.
going to be directed by Robert Zemeckis, who did Castaway. But he also did, let's look it up. He's done so much. Okay, so he's done Castaway with Tom Hanks. He did Forrest Gump.
Back to the
He also
Future.
did Back to the Future, not with Tom Hanks. But he also did, I think he did Polar Express, which is a classic.
So he loves Tom Hanks, apparently.
Yeah,
he has him in a lot
yeah.
of his movies.
And so now we get another Tom Hanks and Robert Zemeckis film strictly for Disney Plus, Pinocchio.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be pretty incredible. I was never, I loved Pinocchio so much. Always a weird plot to me. So I'm very interested to see how it turns into a film.
I'm sure
a
it's going to
live-action
be
film.
good.
But yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Tom
I'm so
Hanks
stoked.
in it. It's bound to be good.
We
And
get
then
Tom Hanks for a Disney Plus original. I'm
right?
so stoked.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, how in the world did you get him to sign on for this?
I was gonna be so
He's the
great.
best. My life goals to meet Tom Hanks.
Okay, he
I
went to
love
the
Tom Hanks.
same community college that we went to.
He did.
No
back in the day. Back in the day.
Yeah,
back
so
before he
good.
was even acting.
Yeah.
Anyways, Peter Pan and Wendy. If anyone knows me and has watched our show for any length of time, you know that I love Peter Pan. So I'm pretty
Peter
stoked
Pan.
about this. We're going to be having Jude Law as Captain Hook.
Incredible actor.
Yeah, that's going to be
So
pretty
good.
cool. And then Jim Gaffigan, who's one of my favorite
So
comedians,
sweet.
will be Smee.
That is
So
gonna
that's going to be
so
really
good.
fun. I'm sure they're going to have a good dynamic.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be hysterical. I'm
Yeah.
so ready for that.
What are you excited
Um,
about from this list?
Yeah, so all the ones that you said as well. Hocus Pocus 2, I think comes out this year, 2021. Halloween time,
Halloween, yeah.
which we haven't had a trailer for or anything, I don't believe. But Hocus Pocus, the original, is such a classic to watch at Halloween time.
Oh yeah.
And they're getting the same cast, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe everyone's the same. Bette Midler and off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Yeah,
but all three witches are gonna be the same, I
something.
believe. Oh yeah, from Sex and the City, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't think of what her full name is.
Yeah,
but
you guys have to excuse our parent brain. Sometimes memories just flood out of it.
the words you're trying to think of just disappear.
Yeah, but
And
that's
names.
gonna be so amazing. Let's see what else. I mean, and then also I loved Enchanted. So seeing Disenchanted will be great. I hope they're not disenchanted with each other.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it must be something else.
The topic of the show isn't even about that, right? It's like it
just says it's a sequel.
Oh,
so
okay.
Either way, that will be really good. And that's pretty much it. I didn't really watch Sister Act a lot growing up, or Three Men and a Baby. So although Sister Act is Whoopi Goldberg is reprising her role, and then also Three Men and a Baby is a reboot with Zac Efron. So that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Zac is great and everything. So
yeah, that's gonna be good.
I mean, he's a Disney legend.
Yeah. That High School Musical.
Gosh, so good. Next up, we have our Marvel shows coming to Disney Plus, and I just have to say,
they've already been killing it.
Yeah, we've had. I mean, it's been so interesting because we've had like Star Wars animated shows and, Mandalorian and all that stuff. I think Mandalorian being the first live action show of Star Wars. But then I was like, how is Marvel going to do in this? Because they haven't done a show. I mean, I know there's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that's not technically part of the MCU. And then they come out with WandaVision. And then, I feel like a month or two later, it came out with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Amazing. And then they came out with Loki that just ended. And I'm like,
they just keep pounding them out. It's crazy.
And they're also different and also good. And so
totally different.
I was like, I don't know. There's sometimes where I was like, I'm curious what they're going to do because they're taking lesser known people. It's not like they're doing shows with, the main Avengers. They're doing, kind of side people. I mean, for the most part, a lot of them are still in the Avengers, but how are they going to make a show of this? And they've been incredible, so incredible, and so detailed. And to get Owen Wilson and Loki, I'm like, hey,
I know. I was shocked that someone like him signed on to a show on Disney Plus. But it was awesome. It was great.
So good. So now we have for Marvel shows, we have Hawkeye. We have, every time I say Hawkeye, it just sounds like I'm saying hot guy.
I know.
We have hot guy. Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, What If, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Armor Wars, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, I Am Groot, and Wakanda. The ones I'm looking forward to most here, let's see. The ones I'm looking forward to most. So I think probably Secret Invasion because Samuel L. Jackson is going to be in it. And I think that's going to be probably pretty integral to Marvel Phase 4. We also, Wakanda, anything that deals with Wakanda is amazing. So I'm super excited for that. Moon Knight with Oscar Isaac. I think that's going to be cool to have him back in a show. Yeah, and what you said, What If? We were just watching the trailer again today. And
sounds pretty crazy.
I think the funny thing is that, it's a show called What If? What if it changed? And what if it was like this? Like the other comics, a lot of comics have other different storylines. But now with what happened in Loki, I feel like these storylines are probably going to be canon because if you think about it, there's multiple different universes. So that we could just be watching in that What If series another storyline
gone this way instead of this way.
Yeah, and it's that's something that could have happened, and because now all the multiverse is expanding, and that's pretty crazy. Yeah. Hawkeye also, I'm curious to see. I don't want to give a spoiler, if you haven't seen Black Widow, just like fast forward like 15 seconds. But at the end of Black Widow, I'll go fast. At the end of Black Widow, there was a mention about Hawkeye in the end credits. And so I'm curious to see if the story will be following that because they kind of led into this.
Yeah. Yep, that's true.
And then a whole bunch of other good stuff. But I mean, we don't really know too much about it.
Yeah.
Did I cover yours? I feel
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everything you said I'm pretty excited about as well.
Yeah.
I think those are all going to be really good ones.
Yeah. I mean, and then the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
I'm sure that's going to be funny.
So funny and great. Yeah. So
I am Groot. A series. What is that? A series of animated shorts centering. Oh yeah.
So I think a lot of these, like some of them are going to be like actual like big series and all that stuff, and then
some of them
I Am Groot is probably going to
short
be just like a fun little
mini
thing.
series or
mini,
something.
Just something kind of funny, kind of like Forky asking a question or something. Like
Yeah,
something just kind of fun
probably.
with him. So our last one that we're going to look at is the future Star Wars shows.
It's a lot coming up here.
Did you want to list them off? And then I know.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a huge Star Wars nerd.
Yeah, he's got
So if you want to list
down.
them all off and maybe like talk about the one that most interests you, I could kind of break down the other ones.
You
that
can get
are, like,
into it a little
more
bit deeper,
interesting.
sure.
Yeah.
So we have Star Wars Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Acolyte, Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic, The Book of Boba Fett, Lando, Visions, and A Droid Story.
Yeah.
So,
what do you? I mean, from like a Star Wars fan, but maybe not like a Star Wars nerd.
fanatic.
Yeah. What, like,
I don't know as much about these. I know you've told me about some of them coming up.
yeah.
I haven't really read up a ton about what these are going to be, but I definitely am excited about Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's going to be fun because Ewan McGregor is actually going to be playing his role.
Yeah. And it'll be Hayden Christensen as well.
Yeah.
Which is
got them both back
gonna
for
be
it.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be really fun. That's probably what I'm the most excited for. I guess I'm excited to see more about Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Because, we've only really seen her in Mandalorian so far.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah. That's going to be a really cool one because like I haven't actually watched the Clone Wars, but I have watched Rebels. And seeing Ahsoka in that and just kind of knowing her story in Clone Wars as well. Being like Anakin's Padawan. I was thinking Padawan and then I was like Anakin. Anakin's Padawan. And just seeing her like, fully, no longer a Padawan and just kind of doing her own thing. And when we saw her in The Mandalorian and just kind of diving more deep into her story. And I believe Ahsoka will be focusing on, this is actually news if people haven't heard. So, and you don't really know who this is because you haven't watched Rebels, but on Rebels, there's this guy named Ezra Bridger and he goes away as he's trying to fight a Thrawn or whatever. And so Ahsoka is going to be trying to find him, but the rumor is they just cast Mena Massoud from Aladdin, the actor who plays Aladdin in the live action as Ezra Bridger. So I'm so excited because Mena Massoud, after he did Aladdin, I feel like a lot of people like typecast after these like big roles. And so he hasn't found a lot of work. And so now finally, and he was great in Aladdin. Mm-hmm. So finally, hopefully, if the rumors are true, seeing him back in a Disney show, especially Star Wars, and he would fit Ezra Bridger so well. So hopefully we see him in Ahsoka. Cool. Like you said, Obi-Wan will be great because it's kind of bridging, episode 3 and episode 4 together with Obi-Wan's life. The Acolyte will be really cool because it's going to be focusing on like the dark side. I think the dark side between 6 and 7. I could be wrong about that. Sorry. The dark side after the High Republic. So I think going into the prequels. But anything like Dark Side Force users is going to be really, really cool. So I'm super excited to see the Acolyte. And then obviously Book of Boba Fett. That's actually coming out before Mandalorian Season 3. And at the end of Mandalorian Season 2, if you saw the end credits, you saw that kind of like teaser of Book of Boba Fett and seeing Tamara Morrison back as Boba Fett. just amped up the entire Star Wars community. And so, I just can't even believe that we're getting a Boba Fett show. So that's definitely high up on there. So
yeah, I was gonna mention that one next as well. Man, that one's gonna be really good.
I am so pumped. We have some good Star Wars. We have some good Marvel. We have some great Disney stuff.
Lots of good originals coming out.
And so
Seriously,
we're just,
excited.
For what, $7 or something a month, we get all this good content. Disney Plus, you're amazing. Thank you for actually becoming a streaming service.
Yeah,
we have some
seriously
incredible stuff to
got us through quarantine. I would have to say when it came out. I mean, we watched so many Disney Plus things. It's crazy. We have some favorites too. We were gonna kind of just highlight some of what we love that's on there currently that hasn't come out yet. Yeah. Did you want to go first?
Yeah. Okay. So this is tough.
I know there's so many. I hadn't even narrowed them down. I'm just gonna have to talk off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay. So Inside Pixar. We love it. I love kind of short little, you could just take 10 minutes to watch. I've always loved Pixar so much. Mm-hmm. And just that whole series, just kind of talking to different people about what they do, is so amazing. So that's definitely high up on my list. Obviously, the Marvel and the Star Wars stuff. I think with the Marvel series, I think it goes, even though I loved Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think that would be, number 3. Then probably WandaVision, then Loki. It was a toss-up because I think WandaVision could have beaten out Loki, but I loved the Loki finale so much. Even though WandaVision literally broke boundaries with that sitcom style. So maybe they're right up there. And then obviously Mandalorian. And then, my favorite, it's tied for Mandalorian, but Imagineering Story. And I know you will talk more about that because I know that's your favorite on Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, there's so many that I love that are favorites right now. I think that has to reign favorite
it was
forever.
Such a well done.
I seriously just pull up Imagineering Story anytime I'm just missing Disneyland or just need a little extra Disney in my heart.
Yeah.
So definitely Imagineering Story is a favorite.
Yeah.
More recently, loving Behind the Attraction.
Yeah, Behind the Attraction.
That's been really good. So it's kind of my next generation of Imagineering Story.
Yeah. Although I still hope they make Imagineering Story 2.
I really hope that they make another part.
Two.
Yeah, that would be great. But for now, really loving Behind the Attraction. That's another great documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, like you said, we've really enjoyed watching the Marvel and the Star Wars shows.
Yeah.
Obviously. We've also been watching Monsters at Work lately.
Oh, Monsters at Work.
Which is really great.
I have to say, I love Duncan. He's kind of like the Dwight of the Monster Inc. fam, and he's hysterical.
Yeah, he's really funny. There's some great
Shout
characters.
To Dunk. He's so funny.
Yeah, so I've been really liking that.
Yeah.
Aside from that,
yeah.
What else?
There's some notable mentions.
Tons.
I love the behind the scenes of the shows. They've done behind the scenes of Mandalorian, WandaVision, Loki, all that stuff. The World According to Jeff Goldblum was super fun, and now that's going to be a second season.
That one's been really good. Also, we liked Encore.
Yeah,
where
Encore
they brought high school actors, that were in their high school plays and bring them back to redo their play or whatever. That one was fun to watch. Any other ones that were in that same kind of
I'm trying to think. There's been a lot of shorts specifically on Disney Plus. Another one that I loved watching so much is Prop Culture. They just, meet up. They have the whole thing where they'll meet up with people who maybe created it or where it is now and all this stuff of movie props
or actors
really
that were
really
in
cool
it at the time or something. The other one that we loved was One Day at Disney.
But definitely not least. This
so good. There were so many people. I love how it touches on so many facets of Disney cast members.
It's not just Imagineering.
It's not the high
candy maker.
Yeah, the most like random jobs that you wouldn't even think about within the park that all of these people do. And to just hear more about it and hear how they got started in it and everything is so good. I love that show.
Like you
That's one of
said,
my
how it
favorites.
wasn't, it's not just talking about, you know, the higher up jobs. I mean, I was thinking about the guy who scuba dives in the middle of the night to make sure like Finding Nemo is running all good. I remember there's like a ranch hand, like, you know, helping with the horses. And then I'm trying to think of some more.
Totally
but there's
obscure jobs.
random jobs, but it's like, this is awesome.
It's so cool hearing about it and how they got started there and stuff. Yeah, the lady that helps with the carriage that goes through.
Yeah.
Or not the carriage, but the
horse-drawn carriage.
Yeah, the horse-drawn carriage that goes throughout the park. That obviously the horses have to go somewhere, so she like cares for them in the stable, but also helps lead them through like Main Street and stuff.
There's people who like do the windows like on Main Street. Like if it's a new holiday, they'll go in and decorate it up a little bit, and like so many little touches that you don't realize in a Disney park, but you appreciate. You walk past and you're like, oh, it just feels like so magical.
And
it's
so
all
you get to hear about the
behind-the-scenes
people, that you never would even know have a job like that. It's really cool to watch that show and hear all the little inside scoop of those people. And I really hope that there's more of that coming.
Yeah, seriously, I love One Day at Disney.
Yeah, it's
so
a favorite.
So that's pretty much it.
There's a ton that we've watched.
So many,
of late, it's been a lot more like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse with our son because he's a huge fan of that. But
Bluey's also on Disney Plus.
Yeah, another
Bluey
favorite.
Is the best.
So we're obviously big Disney Plus fans. It's been a huge part of our life ever since it came out. So we had to do an episode where we talked about some of the favorites.
Yeah,
and the upcoming ones.
So good. Anyway, let us know what your guys' favorite, Disney thing is, but also what you guys are most excited for on Disney Plus. There's
upcoming.
So much good stuff coming.
Yeah, there's a ton. I wish that we knew kind of more the time frame. There's not really like a set amount of time that we know for each thing coming out, but the fact that we know it's coming is enough for me right now.
Exciting, yeah. I mean, it's so great. So, anyways, thanks again so much for listening in on the happiest hour on Earth. We are so thankful for you guys, and we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.